In 2012, the world of music stood still. One of the most dangerous and legendary names in gangster rap, a man who defined the West Coast street life, announced he was finished with hip-hop. He wasn't just retiring, he was being reborn. Calvin Broadus, known to the world as Snoop Dogg, traveled to the hills of Jamaica. He didn't go for a vacation. He went for a spiritual awakening. He came back not as a dog, but as a lion, Snoop Lion. Many called it a publicity stunt. Others called it a midlife crisis. But for those in the reggae community, it was one of the most controversial and fascinating moments in the history of the genre. Today, we dive into the reincarnation of Snoop Lion, and how a hip-hop king tried to find his soul in the roots of reggae. To understand why Snoop became a lion, you have to understand the burden of being a dog. For 20 years, Snoop had lived under the shadow of Death Row Records, East Side Long Beach, and the constant pressure of being a gangster icon. He had seen his friends murdered, he had faced life in prison, and he had reached a point where he felt he had nothing left to say in rap. "I've always said I was Bob Marley reincarnated," Snoop told the press. He felt that hip-hop had become too violent and commercial. He was looking for peace. He was looking for Jah. He landed in Kingston with a film crew, ready to document his transformation. But Jamaica is not a place that accepts you just because you are famous. He had to prove he was serious. He had to go to the source, the Nyabinghi elders. Snoop traveled to the spiritual heart of the Rastafari movement. This wasn't a tourist hotel. It was a sacred space. Here, he met with high priests who questioned his intentions. They asked him, "Are you here to use our culture? Or are you here to join our struggle?" It was during these sessions, surrounded by the smell of frankincense and the sound of Nyabinghi drums, that an elder told him his spirit was no longer a dog. He was a lion, the symbol of the tribe of Judah. The name Snoop Lion was born. He stopped recording songs about bitches and hoes and started writing lyrics about peace, love, and unity. He spent weeks in the studio with producer Major Lazer, trying to find a voice that wasn't a rap flow, but a soulful reggae chant. The result was the album Reincarnated. It featured reggae royalty like Bunny Wailer and modern stars like Popcorn for the first time. Fans heard Snoop singing over one-drop beats and heavy bass lines. The lead single, La La La, was pure roots reggae, but the most powerful track was No Guns Allowed, featuring his daughter Corey Bien and Drake. It was a direct plea to end the violence that had haunted his early career. For the Reggae Roots community, the album was a mixed bag. Some loved the global attention he brought to the genre. Others felt he was touring their culture. Bunny Wailer himself, who initially supported Snoop, later became one of his harshest critics, accusing him of failing to live up to the strict moral codes of a true Rastafarian. Being a Rasta isn't just about wearing green, gold, and red. It's a way of life that involves idle diets, deep study of the Bible, and a rejection of Babylon, the corrupt system. When Snoop returned to America and was seen back in his old habits, the Jamaican community began to push back. Was he a fake? Was Snoop Lion just a costume? Snoop's response was simple: "I am a work in progress." He argued that reggae is a spirit of freedom, and his journey was about finding that freedom. Even if he went back to rapping later, the lion face changed him forever. It softened his image and allowed him to transition from a scary gangster to a global uncle. He brought reggae to the Coachella main stage. He introduced a new generation of American kids to the concepts of Rastafari. Even if the album didn't sell like Dogger Style, its cultural impact was massive for the Roots movement. Today, Calvin Borders has returned to being Snoop Dogg, but the Lion never truly left. You can hear it in the way he speaks, the wisdom he shares, and his focus on family and peace. The Snoop Lion era remains one of the most unique chapters in music history. It was a bridge between the streets of Long Beach and the hills of Jamaica. It proved that reggae has the power to heal even the most hardened hearts. Snoop might not be the reincarnation of Bob Marley in a literal sense, but he carried the torch for a moment. He showed that the roots of reggae are deep enough to hold anyone looking for the truth. What did you think of Snoop's reggae phase? Was it a beautiful tribute or a marketing trick? Let us know in the comments below. If you love the deep roots of reggae music, make sure to subscribe to our channel. One love and stay blessed.